Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel and to another Friday night pen thoughts. And today it is episode number 24. And it is Lisboa, 11 de fevereiro de 2022. And so, welcome back. Welcome to another Friday Night Pen Thoughts. I've been only able to record one of these per month lately. Sorry about that, but it's hard having enough time to make more. So let's just start showing what you have here today, and let's see. So first thing that I want to show you is the pens for today. What do I have here? And I have two pens. One is this, which is a beautiful pen that I showed you before, and it is the Pilot Costume 743. It is a very nice pen, which is basically a pen that you all know, the Pilot Costume 843, but this one is the cartridge or converter version. This is a very interesting pen. I didn't know for a long time that this pen existed, and when I discovered this pen I had to have it because that's what I was looking for, the Pilot Costume 843, but not being a vacuum filler. So this is the Pilot Costume 743 in black with gold trim. It is also available, it's not widely available, it is also available in red or a burgundy. And the ink it has inside, first it has a fine gold nib, the number 15 gold, the number 15 size of Pilot nibs, and inside it has the vintage Parker Quink black. This pen is a fun case of an ink and pen that work together or they don't. I used this pen first with the Montblanc Racing Green, which is a discontinued ink from Montblanc that I like a lot, and the ink flow was terrible. I changed it to the Parker Quink Black and it works wonderfully. I really enjoy this pen. Nice size, really nice. The other pen we have for today is one of my new purchases. This is one pen that's not especially beautiful, but it's a very interesting pen and I had to have it. And I explained that before in the video, so if you can check my wish list for 2022, and this pen is featured there, and you can see that kind of you can hear me talking about why I got this one. And this one has a slip fit cap like this, and this is the Platinum 3776. So this pen is the Platinum 3776 with a gold nib, but this is Platinum 3776 gathered. It's the name of the model, and it has the medium gold nib and it is in black, also with gold trim. This one also exists or used to exist with a red or burgundy finish, plastic, resin, whatever. so that is or was also available, but apparently these pens were discontinued. Now you can see, focus please, you can see both nibs together. You can see the shape of the Pilot nib is very different from the shape of the Platinum. 14 karat gold medium, and this one 14 karat gold fine. So these are the two pens that I will use today. This pen is inked with a Sailor Studio ink number 650. I'm not 100% sure if I will keep this ink on this pen, because I'm not 100% sure if the flow is in its best like this. But I have to try. Sometimes we take a little bit to find the perfect ink for the special pen. This pen comes with a converter, which is nice. And the ink comes with stickers, transparent stickers like these, that you can put on the converter to know which ink you're using. So this is very fun. This is glued here. And now I know this pen has that Sailor ink. So very interesting feature by Sailor to have this kind of information. So let's talk about pens I got since last, let's call like this, Friday night pen thoughts. This pen looks much wetter than the Platinum, so I think that ink may not be the wettest ink, but as I told you, I need to try it better. I feel this pen is good, maybe I just need to be sure. So what did I get? I get three main things. One was not a fountain pen, or two were not fountain pens. They arrived yesterday. This is a Kaweco Sport Tracking, the older, very old version. This is a ballpoint. This is a mechanical pencil. This model is very interesting, this model and color, because this is kind of the regular shape of the Sport, but with a mustard color, and it has not the logo of Kaweco, but this star on top. And I got this from a friend on the Kaweco Collectors and Users group on Facebook, and she sold me these pencils, and I already had the fountain pen, which is the matching set. You can see fountain pen here. This one has black section and the Schmidt nib. That was how it worked back then. So it is fun to have this set. This mustard color is very nice. So I already had that, but I thought I would get the chance to have the full set because I think it was interesting, and I'm very happy to have this. The other pen that I received was the Platinum Gathered, as I showed you just a little bit before. And the other pen, let me see if I can, it's here, was this. I got this pen, I went to El Corte Inglés here in Lisbon. It's a big store, and this is the new model of the Parker Vector, and I thought it would be fun. I'm not really super interested in this pen. Focus. It's a very simple Parker nib. It's on the inexpensive side. We never know how it will perform or all that. But I decided to buy this one more for the channel than for myself, but I wanted to test these and see how it works. So this is the new version of the Parker, and I forgot the Parker Vector. So this is it. It's interesting because the other ones used to have a metal section and plastic cap and barrel, and this one has a plastic section and metal cap and barrel. So they inverted those stuff. Let's see. I will see how it works. I don't really see the kind of the evolution from the previous model of the Vector to this new one. There is not really a continuity, but we will see how it will perform. I will show a review once it is inked. It's not yet, but I will ink it eventually and I will try it. I will just not promise any time to do it. So these were the pens I got since last Friday night pen thoughts, which was in January. Now, the previous videos, if you are interested in some of those things, you can go back and watch them. I have several stuff. I had this unboxing. Very nice pen, very nice unboxing really, because the way the store sends stuff is amazing. The store is the Ink Traveler. It is from Spain and they are specialists in Japanese pens and stationery. So if you want to get specific things, talk with them, send them an email, and I think they are great people. I'm very happy with my two experiences there. Actually, both the pilot costume for 743, which is not really that available in Europe, and the Platinum, both were bought in that same store. So check them. It's called the Ink Traveler. So this was one of the videos. Another video was the giveaway that I announced for the 4,000 subscribers of the channel, where I gave away a Kaweco student, the 30s Blues color. Then I also made a series of videos of my collection overview of Parker Duofold pens. So I showed the vintage Parker Duofolds, the Parker Duofold from the United Kingdom, then the modern Parker Duofold, and then the pens that are copies or inspired by the Parker Duofold. So it is 4 videos that show a little bit of the history and how the models evolved from one into the other. So it may be interesting for some people, I think. I also made a video of the pens that I have inked for January. Lots of pens. I emptied a few, but I already inked this one, so really I don't know if I'm really being able to reduce the number of pens that I have inked, which are a lot. Mostly because still of the Diamine Inkvent calendar reviews that I made. So lots of pens with ink yet, or still. Then I made also 4 reviews and the wish list of the pens I would love to have in 2022. One of those was the Platinum Gathered, Platinum 3776 Gathered, and I got it. I'm very happy. Not beautiful, I know, but I love this pen in my... It's the kind of pen I like, although I know it's not the most beautiful one. And the reviews that I published since last video were this one, which is a little less interesting, not because it is a Kaweco Perkeo, but because it is a Kaweco Perkeo rollerball. This is the, and I don't remember the name, the teal color, which is an interesting color of the Perkeo, but this one is a rollerball. But I also review rollerballs, not that often, but I do. I also reviewed the beautiful Schiffer Balance in this crimson glow color. I reviewed this one is always in the pocket, in the little sleeve. The Kaweco Sterling Sport. It's now getting some patina and lots of micro scratches. I'm sure I can really polish it well, but you can see silver is a very soft material. It will get small scratches very easily, and because the finish of this pen is very well done, almost a mirror polish, it will get, even if the scratches are minor, they look really big. And finally, I also reviewed this pen that I got from Ben. This pen is amazing, really. The color, everything. This pen that I got from Benu, which is the Benu Ambrosia Brown Orchid, which is a very interesting pen with Schmidt nib. Oops. And it has a flower there on the cap band. It is a very interesting pen, so I was able to review it. This pen will be eventually in giveaway someday soon. And so this is it. These were the videos that I previously made since the last Friday Night Pen Thoughts. Now, about future videos. What am I thinking about? So, I'm thinking about making some reviews, of course. I'm preparing a collection overview of silver pens. There will be also 2 giveaways, and the question with giveaways is that why am I doing so many? Because I wanted to make the 4,000 subscribers giveaway when I hit the 4,000 subscribers, but there were COVID and working from home, and it wouldn't make sense to get into the post office and get infected and all that stuff. Yes, I know I have the 3 shots of the vaccine, but doesn't matter. And so I took my time, and now I had that Kaweco student for the 4,000 subscribers, and I already had reached the 4,250, and so that giveaway will be announced next week. And that pen, I can show it now, will be this. It will be Platinum Plaisir in this color, Bali Citrus, which is kind of a yellowish green metallic color. It is a nice pen. I have a review on the channel, but this is an interesting pen. This will be the giveaway. It's not as special or as expensive as a Kaweco student, but we can say that the 4,000 subscribers is a nicer number than the 4,250. And I will make then, after that, so this, I already worked on this number when I made the review of the 4,000, and then meanwhile I got into 4,500 subscribers. So in March I will make, I think 2 weeks after this one, I will make a giveaway of this Benu Ambrosia, which is a pen that is inked. I've been using it a little bit. I will not use it very much. It still has ink inside. When it is empty, I will clean it, and this pen will be sent to the winner. But we are talking about March, not this month yet. So there will be those 2 giveaways for, let me put here, 4,250 and 4,500 subscribers. So these 2 reviews will be coming. So I'm not sure if this is focusing correctly. Sorry about that. but most of this video is just me talking. It could almost be a podcast because I'm not really showing a lot of stuff till now, but I will show you. Okay, and what more? There is one more thing. There will be a very special unboxing video. It is a very special one. I can't say much about it, but you will see it in the middle of next week. And that's what I can tell you right now. There's not much more information I can provide you. These are my plans. I'm trying to organize myself, but this is crazy because I'm very disorganized and I'm trying to have always content to show, but sometimes I struggle a little bit. Now, let's make that part of the video which is called the uncommon pen of the day. However, I just want to warn you that I'm getting out of uncommon pens to show. So unless I can buy more uncommon pens, and I'm trying not to buy too many pens, maybe I will need to start changing that item on that theme or that topic on this Friday Night Pen Thoughts video, and maybe I'll need to name it something else and try to talk about something else. So, do you have any ideas? Now it is uncommon or unusual pen of the day. So, do you have any ideas of the next topic that I can make here? If you have, please post in the comments because I'm really interested to know where I can show an equivalent topic in terms of content, even if it is a different theme. And the uncommon pen of the day is a pen that I quite like. I will write it right now. It is the Pilot Bamboo. It is a pen that is a little bit unusual. So, let me just show it to you. This pen is now a little scratched. It's not in perfect condition anymore, but I like it a lot. And that's why I use it, and that's why it gets some scratches. And it's this thing. This is the Pilot Bamboo. I made a review of this pen. This pen is interesting because it is a Pilot pen, so it is a Japanese pen, but it was designed by a French designer inspired on the Oriental design. So it's fun to have an Oriental pen made by a French designer evoking Oriental design. So I think it's fun. It's kind of fun. This is a pen that I reviewed and I think I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It has this thing that looks like those notches or those, I don't know how really to call it, those parts on the bamboo stems, and it has these rhodium plated surfaces. It is made of resin. You uncap it and the pen is like this. Has a big step there, metal threads. It is a cartridge converter pen. It comes with the Con 70. It is a very interesting pen, really. I really like it. I bought it long ago when you could buy a time where there were lots of stationery stores, mostly downtown Lisbon, and they still sold Pilot, and this nib is very beautiful. It is a fine nib. It was my first Pilot gold nib. It is an 18 karat gold, as you can see, and it is a number 10 nib, which means it is smaller than the number 15 nib on the costume 743. So you can see it is smaller. But this one has something that I like. It is kind of a two-tone nib, not because it has two colors on the nib, but because it has only one color, this rhodium plated, but one part of it has a frosted finish and the other part has a shiny finish. I like this pen a lot. I think it is, I have a very emotional attachment to this because I didn't have many money by that time. I'm not saying I'm rich now, but I was starting working by that time, and I could buy this pen, and I spent a lot of money on it. Today it would be easier because I have a more regular income, but not a big one, but regular. By that time it was not regular. So let me just go here, show you the box. You'll not be able to see it all because it will not fit on the frame, but it has on the lid, the inside of the lid, it has this bamboo. And let me just show you something that I showed on the review. So if you want, you can go and check the review. Sorry, let me just move stuff around. And the pen came with this leaflet. So Pilot bamboo with bamboo leaves there. And it explains how the pen was created. And you can see it was available in this rhodium plated. It is a very, it's very beautiful, really beautiful pen. You have the materials, they talk about the materials. It's nibbed in gold and is covered with matte and shiny rhodium, as you could see. It is both in English and French. I'm not sure why. Okay, I'm not speaking French because I don't really know. And it talks a lot of it. And it explains here, the barrel is smooth resin and it's borrowed with irregular knots like those typically found on bamboo stalks. And it is interesting. There is also, it's not the case of this one, because this one is just shiny rhodium, but there were some variants. And because this one, it says, the sober copper, not copper, but copper-plated pin cold clip with his bevel shape cut captures the bare plant spirit of bamboo. But this one is not the rose gold. So this leaflet is not really for this particular pen, and I think this information was a little strange. And inside this leaflet it came this also, which was kind of printed in this transparent paper, and it means they had the deep red, which is Bordeaux, and also a marine or dark blue color. You can't see it very well here, but all with rose gold trim. This one doesn't have rose gold trim, but there were some variants. But this pen existed and it disappeared very quickly. It's now a very uncommon pen to find, quite rare in my opinion, but I love it. Now, let's just see something else. The pen has this cut, like this and like this on the cap. Mine doesn't. And I guess it was maybe my fault, because when I was at the store, I was looking at a couple of pens. They had more than one color. I looked at them, I looked at nib sizes, and I know that I uncapped and kept them again. Maybe when I kept them again, or the store lady, it was kept like this. So I think that this cap is not for this pen, because the cap should be like this. And there is, because all these parts are glued together, there is no way I can do this again. So I cannot align them perfectly as they should, and it is really aligned this way. So this is not a perfect pen, because I think the cap is not of this pen. It will fit, but it will not align. Is this a problem? If I wanted to sell it with big value, maybe I couldn't, but I like it because I know it is my pen. I like this pen a lot, and it is in moments like these that I look into my collection and I think that I have too many pens. And sometimes I enjoy a lot writing with lots of pens that I like a lot, like this one or this one, but I didn't really write with it enough. But there are pens that become a lot of time unused, and that's a little bit sad. So they deserve a little bit more love. I may need to, I told this before, I may need to sell some pens. I'm not really reducing my collection massively, but there are some pens that will leave my collection. Some will be sold, and I sold one recently, one of those vintage dufolds, and I gave a set of 2 Kaweco away, the Kaweco Student. I will give away the Bennu, I'll give away this Platinum. So I'm working on doing something to my collection. Slowly, but trying to. So this is the Pilot Bamboo. In my opinion, it is an uncommon pen because it's not commonly seen. There will be links on the description below, so you can check it there if you want to find it, but really they are on eBay. I don't think they can be easily found in a store, unless some store has some new old stock, but because traditional stores are no longer around, in digital stores it's very rare to find new old stock like that. So this is it, the uncommon pen of the day. And now it's time for the last 2 topics, and I have to say that maybe I was a little bit lazy. I'm not saying that. I did not do it to save on work on my side, but just to be more, to explain more what I want to say. I want to talk, so this was written with which? This one? Maybe? Let me just say, this color is strange because it is a kind of a purple color, but it's more kind of black. So it is a very dusty, blackish purple. It's very hard to understand, but okay. That's why I can't really tell apart the writing from one to the other. But forget about it. Let's go to the 2 topics that are remaining. I want to talk about inexpensive collectible pens and what is happening. And this is something that interests me because throughout the time, throughout the years, or at least at some periods of time, there were pens that were inexpensive and, in my opinion, highly collectible. I don't know if they were made with the purpose of being highly collectible, but they were inexpensive and that was an easy stuff to do. And nowadays, I think that trend exists with the thought from the brands of making them really collectible. And so something changed because now they are really exploring that side of the collector's side. And so let me just show you some ideas of what I'm talking about. One of the brands I'm not showing here, I have only one and not in those collectible colors, but imagine the Twisby VAC 700 or the VAC Mini. There are some Twisby pens that are very inexpensive. They constantly come out with new colors, new designs, new variations. They are easily collectible and there are people that are collecting them all. There are other pens also. So the Twisby is clearly one that is very, very obvious. Maybe the other pen that is obvious to the same extent, and this pen comes from the 1980s, but we see as time goes by it's getting more and more collectible, is this pen. And this is the Lamy Safari. These are 3 special colors. This is the petrol, and now the other colors, I don't remember. One is the dark lilac or dark purple, and the other is purple, dark, okay, lilac and purple and petrol. I don't remember exactly the name of the colors, but these are all special editions, and they make many pens. I have a few more Lamy Safari pens. They are really inexpensive. They have this triangular shape, and they are made of plastic. They are resistant. They are easy to buy. They are sold everywhere. They are very collectible. You can find it, and they release new editions every year. So they are really made thinking about the usage, because they are inexpensive. It's easy to use. It's not a big problem if you lose one, but if you really want to go into collecting, it's very easy to get them, collect them without spending a lot of money. Of course, you'll be spending a lot of money if you try to collect them all, because older models are harder to find, and really there are always lots of them, so you are almost always spending money on buying more pens. But I think this is a kind of concept that works. Many pen users are not just pen users. Many pen users are also collectors. They also like to find new pens, new variations, and I do that all the time. So it makes sense. I think this is another very well known. Twisby, Lamy, of course, and I'm talking about Lamy Safari, which is less expensive, but you also have the Lamy All-Star, which has lots of different models, also variations. So, but this is just for illustration purposes. I think you get my point. There are other brands that go the same path, and one of those is, of course, the Kaweco Sport. Kaweco Sport comes in plastic. It also comes in metal, but this one is more expensive, because this is Kaweco Art Sport Amber, and this cannot be found anymore. It's a very rare pen, but if you not think about this, you have all the other variations, and you can really collect them all. With metal and plastic and prototypes, I have more than 150 different Kaweco Sports, and this is really my thing. These are the pens that I love. So you will find these. This is also a very interesting thing to collect, and you can get not this one, because it is a slightly different model, slightly different variation, but the regular ones will be as expensive as a Lamy Safari. So they are really affordable, around 20 euros, or a little less or a little more, depending, but they are easy. They are coming with new colors all the time, and there are collectors communities that you can really use to try to know more and to get more and to be informed of every release that is made. So Kaweco Sport for sure is another of those inexpensive pens that you can collect. There is something that is a little bit apart that not everyone does, but is trying to collect, and let me put it this way, it's not fair really, but let's talk about it that way. It's about Chinese pens, and some pens like the Jinhao Centennial, they are highly collectible. They are inexpensive, they are very well made, they write really well, they look good because really they are very heavily inspired in the Parker Duofold model, and so you can have lots of them. I think the problem with I'm talking about Jinhao 100, but think about some of the models of the Pen BBS brand. I remember when they came up with the Pen BBS 308, I think, or 309, I don't remember. There were lots of finishes. But I would say there is a little difference between the Chinese pens and the others. And I'm not saying this in a way that I want to put countries or origins apart. It's kind of a different philosophy. If you look at the Lamy, there are lots of models. When they released this pen, they released 3 different colors in the same year, at the same time. Kaweco also does that. Every year they release more pens. But they already have pens. Lamy has these pens since the 1980s, and Kaweco has these since the 1990s. So there was a build-up of pens. If you start now, you have lots of pens to go to try to find. But it was an evolution. On these Jinhao pens, or Pen BBS, or some other Chinese brands, what happens is there are lots of interesting materials. This material is interesting for sure, and of course, and this is also very interesting material. But what happens here is that they have a model, they release that model with a huge amount of different colors, and then they just keep adding some modifications. They make this with a narrow clip instead of this one. They start changing the colors of the end parts and keeping all the same. And at one point you get a little bit lost, because in just 1 year you may have 30 different models and variations, and you don't really know if 5 years from now this model will still be around, for example. And I think that detracts a little bit from the idea of collecting. When you think about the Lamy Safari or the Kaweco Sport, you won't find this one anymore because this color was limited edition. You won't find this color anymore because this color is discontinued. But I'm sure, almost sure, that 5 years from now, both Lamy and Kaweco will be still making the Lamy Safari and the Kaweco Sport. Now, let's go to another brand that I want to show you, because it starts making a little different approach. One is the Sailor Compass, or the Sailor 1911 Junior, which is this pen. It's the typical cigar-shaped pen from Sailor with a very simple nib, just one nib option. For example, Kaweco and the Lamy have lots of nibs, from extra fine, fine, medium, broad, double broad, and some stub nibs. This one comes only with this medium fine nib, but it is a very nice pen. It is available in several colors, but what I see is that they released a few colors. I'm not sure if there are maybe 15 or 20, and I'm not seeing them making many more colors. I know there are some transparent, some have some special engravings, but I'm not sure if these will continue. But of course this Sailor will be highly collectible, and they cost around 25 euros. So it's also very very appealing. By the way, the Jinhao will cost around 10 to 20 euros, so also very collectible. But as these ones, they make a lot of them, you never know if you have all of them or how long they will last. These seem to be a little bit more stable. They released all at the same time, and you're not sure that they will keep doing them, but you know what you can try to get. And this is a nice idea. But now, currently, things are going in a different way also. In my opinion, the prices of pens are rising, and we are finding some strange stuff, in my opinion. One of the pens that is highly collectible nowadays is, for example, the Pelikan M200. And the Pelikan M200 would cost around 100 euros or a little bit less, so it's not an inexpensive pen. For Pelikan standards, yes, it's less expensive than the M600, the M800 or the M1000, but it's still not an inexpensive pen. But now when you go to these new versions that come one comes out every year, they are reaching higher prices, around 150 or almost 200 euros if you get the package with the ink and so on. So they are really getting a little higher. I think they are making collectible pens for a higher price point, and that is kind of strange. It's not wrong. I think it makes every sense. If there are people that are willing to buy more inexpensive pens, maybe there are people that are going to buy middle range pens, or maybe even expensive pens. So that may make sense, but I think this is kind of an evolution. I think they usually made different pens because they were fun, but now they are really releasing one special color each year, and in my opinion it's just to get that collector's market that are now into this point. But if we want to go even a little bit higher than that, we can think about the Sailor. This pen is not mine, I have it on loan. This is a Sailor Pro Gear, and this is the Slim, but you can find Sailor Pro Gear in very different colors. They are making them with different endings. Sometimes these are transparent, solid colors on the cap. They are making all kinds of variations. So this pen is also getting very interesting with lots of different special editions, and these are not very inexpensive. They are actually a little bit expensive, I have to say, and people buy them. And things are getting into a point that I think it's a little bit strange, but I understand. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying that the prices are getting higher and higher. One of those pens is this, the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. They are making lots of models. Many are nice, like this Pura Anthracite and the Pura Flaming Orange and the Sand. So these are nice pens. They are very beautiful. This one has a black nib. This one has a black nib too. This one has just a regular steel nib. But we are talking about almost 300 euros. Again, I'm not criticizing. After all, I have these in my collection. But there are people that have amazing collection of all the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande models in their collection. So I think that we are getting a little bit higher. And that will lead me to another point, or to the conclusion, that is, I think today it makes sense to work to create pens for really the collector's market, not just for the user's market. It is something that really works. And some brands are doing just that. I'm not criticizing Kaweco or Lamy, but is there a lot of innovation on these models? I know they make some new models, they make some new designs, and they have a lot of value for that. But really, in this case, they are not adding anything else, they are just creating new colors. And it works. So they are just repeating. These are created especially for collectors, or just to give you more options. You are buying just one pen and you want this one, you can find a pen that suits your taste. But most of them are going to collectors, I'm sure of that. And so it makes sense. At what price point? I think it depends on how much you are willing to pay, because all price points are available today. And this will lead us now to the last topic. And the last topic of today's video is, I told you it would be the same. My table is full of pens, so I'm a little bit lost, sorry. Is inexpensive collectible pens. What happened before? Okay, there was a time that I'm not sure pens were made to be collectible. I just think they were made to have lots of different opportunities to match the the preferences of the buyer. And one of those pens that was very popular, it was around from 1960 to 2007, which was one of my favorite pens ever. You already know what is it. The Parker 45. This pen with this very simple design with a nib that you could exchange yourself, and it came in a lot of colors. I have many pens, many Parker 45, not a very extensive collection, but I have a few. I'm just putting here 3, an orange, a turquoise and an olive green. And these pens were kind of popular and they were made for a long time. They were discontinued in 2007. I'm not sure why, maybe because the model was too old, maybe people look at them and thought it was very dated and they don't want it to have a pen that looked like old people's pen. But actually, I think when Parker discontinued this pen, they just lost, I don't know if this expression exists in English, but here we say they just lost the train of those collectible pens, because many years before 2007, I'm not sure when, I had to research, I don't have that information, they were only making these in stainless steel, in a burgundy red, in green, no, not green anymore, in burgundy, stainless steel, burgundy red, dark blue or navy blue, and black. So they narrowed it so much that a pen that could be collectible didn't have any room to grow again in the collectible market because there were not lots of variations. And so I think they lost that train. They could keep, or they could have relaunched this pen with many colors and had this pen working. And I think they missed that. And it's a little bit sad in my opinion, because I think this is a great model. In my opinion, also, it was more successful than the Parker 51. I'm sure they sold more Parker 45s than Parker 51. But they went for lots of variations and they ended with 4 different colors for many years until the model died. So maybe if they kept doing many different colors, maybe this model would still be around. But again, there may be other business things about this that I'm missing. There is another model that is very well known, which is the Schiffer Nonsense. This one is not mine, I have it on loan. And the Schiffer No Nonsense was this pen that was inspired on the flat top Schiffers from the 1920s. Very simple pen, steel nib, school pen, and I know they were school pens, so they have the same concept as Parker. Lots of very interesting colors, some transparent, some not, just to have lots of choices, and I think they became collectible very easily. Many of them have advertising stuff. But I just think that when they were released, they were not thinking about the collectible part of it. And in my opinion, they discontinued the pen just before this boom of collecting pens, one of each variation, started. And I think it was a very strange move, because they could have gone in a very successful path, because these pens are good, the nibs are good, they work well, they are cartridge pens, they are very simple, they are, I think, very inexpensive to make, have very few parts, but again, a lost opportunity in my opinion. This model no longer exists and I think it is a shame. I think they should do them again, and in my opinion, someday there will be some Chinese brand making these pens, and then they will be very sad that someone used their idea. For example, Moonman picked the design of the Parker 45 and they are producing it. It means, I think, there would be a market for the 45, and I think there would be a market for the no-nonsense, because it's just a fun model and there are lots of different variations if you go to the used market. But some people, I think used market is a different thing. You have to go there and try to hunt for a specific pen. You need to be able to know all the different variations. Sometimes there are not catalogs. It's a lot of investigation. Maybe there are some people that just like to have modern pens. They look at Instagram, they look at the brands' communications, they look at the influencers, and they know that a new color was released and they go after it. It wouldn't happen with these ones. It's not something that you create the need just, okay, nice, new blue color, let's just buy it now. No, you have to research and know how many variations of the blue color there are, which are more rare than the others, and this is kind of crazy. Another model that didn't even reach the size of this one, and I like it a lot, is a pen from Waterman, and it is the Waterman Culture. And the Waterman Culture is one of the best pens in this cheap market. This pen used to cost around 10 euros. Very nice pen. Transparent plastic barrel, plastic grip, and a steel nib like this with no breather hole. Very simple, but quite big, and a kind of a number 6 nib. This is a very good pen for 10 euros. It works well. I have only 2, and there were a couple of finishes, but not many. Maybe 10, maybe less. So it never got to that point that created a cult of collectors of the Waterman Culture. If I was asked about it, I would say, go back with this model, create it again, make it with different, solid, transparent, do everything about it, but not put it at a very high price. Make these the Kaweco Sport of the Waterman brand. This pen is so nice and the nib is so nice that nowadays Parker has these nibs, but made of gold, into their Parker Premier brand, which is quite expensive. So I think if these were still possible to be collectible, the no nonsense and the 45, these didn't even reach the part of being collectible. There was another variation, which was the Filias, which had solid barrel and it had some special editions, but it was more expensive, not the same thing. So these didn't even reach the start of being collectible. And now, just to end this, I have another model, and this one is quite sad for me because I really like this model. As far as I know, only 20, I don't remember exactly, 22, 23 different variations were made. And this is the Parker Frontier. It is a very simple pen. I would describe it as a Parker 51 inspired pen, but with an exposed nib. It is the very cheap version of the Parker Sonnet. This was a more inexpensive pen. They were nice nibs. They were cartridge converter pens with Parker proprietary nibs and cartridges. Slip cap. They would click on place and it will post well. It was a school pen, very well made. It was made in, as I was telling you, maybe 20-something materials, some with very interesting colors like this Chromaflair that changes through the lighting, and this one is a transparent one. That's not an official release. It was a very interesting pen. So very few variations were produced, and it was discontinued. I think this was really the last Parker approach to a market that started growing after they discontinued the pen. Now you can find again the Kaweco Sport and Lamy Safari everywhere. Why Parker left the Frontier aside? And the Frontier had the advantage that it was a new model. It was created, I think, in the 1990s. Yes, no, I don't think it was created in the end of the 1990s, instead of the 45 that you can say, okay, this is an older model. It looks maybe from the 60s or 70s. Yes, but this doesn't. This is a perfectly modern pen. Why did they discontinue this? These pens were nice. I think nowadays they could be successful. So if I went to work with Parker, I would say bring back the Frontier, but stop marketing it as a high-end pen, because this was not a high-end pen, and put as a very young, accessible pen that everyone can have, lower the price a little bit and sell it. There was another pen that could be highly collectible, which was the Parker Vector, but the materials were very weak and the caps broke and the barrel broke, so I don't think it would be really a good pen in that concept. But in this one, I think about these missed opportunities. Parker Frontier, Waterman Kultur, and Parker 45. I don't know which is your opinion, or what is your opinion on these concepts, what you think about this. Please tell me on the comments below what you think about these pens, if they could be successful. I think they could. This is just my opinion, and this video is now long enough. And so that is why I have to say to you, thank you for watching. Again, I will leave links below for the pens that can be still found, so you can see them, and I will leave and I hope that you reply to these topics. You tell me your ideas, your opinions about these pens, and if what I just said make any sense to you. So I hope to see you again here on the channel, and have a very nice weekend. Bye.